Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 podcast presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Ty in the house. Tyler, how you doing?
Long time no see, my friend.
It's only been an hour and 2 minutes.
Yeah. Those who haven't seen it yet, we were just live to watch Paul Skenes win the Cy Young on playback and also on YouTube. So pay attention to that. We got a lot of cool things going there, but Paul Skenes won the Cy Young.
He
The
did
least,
unanimously.
like the most anticlimactic Cy Young ever.
Why
I
is
feel
that?
like we knew this back in like June.
Yeah, it wasn't really much of a race. And again, as pointed out,
Oh.
the only unanimous winner by the Pirates, which has only been 3 now. It's not like there's been a lot of opportunities, but yeah, he was unanimous number 1. And I thought it was kind of cool too. Like Christopher Sanchez was unanimously number 2. So very clear who the best and second best pitcher was in the NL. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. You don't look good.
Is
Worse
my
than
internet
normal.
starting to go a little bit bad? Because yours is too.
I don't know.
Who knows?
You look
It's
fine
that
to
Florida
me.
internet, man.
Maybe.
But yeah, the Paul Skenes Cy Young race was pretty much wrapped up around the All-Star break. Whenever is that around when Wheeler got hurt? Because Wheeler seemed like the only real competition early in the year.
Yeah,
And
I
after
thought
that,
his was
Skenes
like
just kind of ran away with it.
mid-August.
Was it? But Skenes just kind of ran away with this thing early. And now we
Well,
can see if
I
he's
mean,
going to
after
be
the first
MVP as
month of
well.
not being good enough among many Pittsburgh media members. Yeah, he ran away with it.
He's really good at throwing baseballs, guys.
Really good at throwing baseballs. Apparently also really good at eating hot dogs. He loves his hot dogs. Loves his hot dogs. He's got a whole hot dog machine maker. I don't even know what you call that. Something you find at 7-Eleven, right? To cook your hot
I
dogs
think
in.
it's a roller.
A roller.
I think the proper term is a roller.
He's got a hot dog roller in his kitchen that he used tonight for his celebratory meal, apparently, of winning Cy Young. Hot dogs with the boys, baby.
I mean, isn't that the dream? Just glizzies whenever you want.
Not gonna lie. Yeah. I mean,
Like you just
think
put 8
about
dogs
this.
on the roller?
You're Paul Skenes. You got Livy done there right in your living room. You're living together. You're getting to win your Cy Young, and it's like hot dogs on my hot dog roller on my kitchen counter. And like, I just know this one thing too, because I'm not Paul Skenes. Like you mentioned, the dream, right? I'm not Paul Skenes. I couldn't have a hot dog roller on my wife's counter. That's not how it goes. But when you're Paul Skenes, you get to have a hot dog roller on your counter.
Do you think he served hot dogs to all of his guests? Like, was there any other food there?
It was just hot dogs, nothing else. That would be amazing. I'm sure. I'm going to say there is more.
I would assume so. Yeah, maybe the first of many for Paul Skenes, and we'll get into why he might be a piece of why the Pirates might be competitive soon.
Yeah. Baseball America put out. Now it's been an interesting week, and the offseason's beginning. The GM meetings are going on right now. So there's like some news coming out, some rumors, some quotes. So those quotes tend to lead to Pirates fans being irritated. But today, Baseball America, JJ Cooper put out an article just more or less talking about how the Pirates essentially can't fail. Like they can't fail. They already have Paul Skenes. If Konnor Griffin becomes the guy that many people believe that he will become, Baseball America certainly believes he'll become that. They have him as the number 1 rated prospect in baseball. And, something we've mentioned a bit ago, but like when you go back and see Baseball America,
I might have to pause you here, DiNardo. I can't tell if it's my AirPods going out or if it's your microphone going out right now.
oh boy. If it's me, I might have to come back.
Maybe help out if it's the audio is good on your end. It could be me. Let me double check here.
I might have to restart my stuff. I might.
No, I think it's me. Hold on.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the stream and I look real fuzzy.
Nope. Yeah, but it's me. My audio is a little bit screwy there.
Why do I look super fuzzy though?
Oh yeah, you look super fuzzy.
I'm gonna have to come back. I sound okay, but I look terrible.
Yeah, you
Usually it's the
sound
opposite.
fine. We're okay on that end.
No, it's bad all around. But anyways, no, I forget what I was saying. No, what I was saying was, yeah, Baseball America put out the article essentially that the Pirates can't be bad, essentially. Well, you know, like when you look at the numbers, Paul Skenes, we already know he's a Cy Young winner, right? He's really, really good. And if Konnor Griffin can become the player that people think of, that's where I was at. When you look at Baseball America's top prospect list and you see their number one prospect in baseball in like the past 25 years, more or less since the new century, they're good. You know, like they pretty much hit on their top prospects. And we're going to have comps. I know this is Baseball America, but when we talked to Eric Longenhagen from Fangraphs the other week, I guess it's like a month ago now, but that video was just released. I mean, he more or less said like Konnor Griffin is like Bobby Witt Jr., but taller. That's a huge vote of confidence of like how good he is. You know, so even if he's not Bobby Witt Jr., like what this article is kind of saying is when you have 2 5-WAR players or higher on a team, essentially they don't lose. The odds are in their favor. I'm going to have the numbers here also, but in the past 15 seasons, there's been 114 teams with 2 guys with 5+ WAR players. Only 14% of them finished below 500. Of those 14%, which is 16 teams, 10 made the playoffs the year before or after. So, like, what this is kind of alluding to is like if Konnor Griffin becomes the player they think he can be, the Pirates should be in good shape.
Yeah, and I think, are we going into the article right now?
I think so.
Okay. And I think they even pointed out in the article, like the last time the Pirates have had multiple players with 5+ WAR was their playoff run, 2013 through 2015, when you had Kutch and you had Russell Martin putting up 5-win seasons basically every year, and then throw in Cervelli as well in 2015.
Yep.
Yeah, it kind of laid out what we've been saying for a while and what I've said a bunch of times, that the Pirates have the hard part figured out. Like, especially now with Paul Skenes, they really have it figured out. And it's also kind of why we were so hopeful for O'Neal Cruz, I think. And obviously, he's not the prospect that Konnor Griffin is. Konnor Griffin's a consensus number 1, but O'Neal Cruz was nothing to sneeze at. Fangraphs had him like number 2 in baseball. He was top 25 almost everywhere. Obviously, we know about the talent. But that's why we were so hopeful with O'Neal Cruz, was if he could be a guy that could put together 5-win seasons, there's your 2 5-win players, if you include Paul Skenes in that. Yeah, really interesting article. Read that by JJ Cooper there, as the narrator tries to figure out his camera stuff. And Jim will be here later for those who are asking. Oh, you look better.
Do I? Okay.
Yeah, you look normal now. But yeah, that's why we were so hopeful of O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah.
Because he should have been the guy to be a 5-win player. And then I think you also throw in like a Brian Hayes. That's why we always said if he just hits a little bit, he could be that 5-win player. Right. He very easily could have been. Didn't work out there. Didn't work out with O'Neal Cruz. Konnor Griffin's next up, and probably the most likely of those 3 to get there, I would say. Just based on the information right there, where pretty much everyone they rank number 1 is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a track record with it. They don't miss on many, and even the ones they miss on, they're very close.
Right. Yeah, obviously, like the difference in that too. When you talk about Cabrian Hayes, the defense was excellent. Like we just needed him to hit a little bit, but in doing so, he could potentially be close to about a 5 WAR player. With Ono Cruz, there's immense talent. There's immense talent, but he's never proven that he could be that 5 WAR player. He still could be. You know, like we could be a year from now talking about the 3 guys that were 5 WAR players in this past Pirates team that still ended up with 76 wins. But you know, like the thing is with Konnor Griffin, he's still a prospect, and I get that. Like that, he's obviously less proven than either of them too, but he comes with a pedigree that's also different from them. You know, he has a ceiling that's tremendously above what Cabrian Hayes could ever do, and very likely above Ono Cruz, because well, his ceiling might be the same as Ono Cruz's, technically speaking, but Ono Cruz's floors probably lower, and like the chances of Cruz hitting that ceiling that he possesses per se is very unlikely, where Konnor projects to come closer to that, if that makes sense.
The only place I'd maybe have an argument with that, comparing the two, Cruz and Griffin, would be I think Konnor Griffin just has a better shot at being a better defender. Like we knew shortstop was going to be an issue with O'Neal Cruz no matter what. Like that was going to limit his ceiling a little bit because he just wasn't going to get the defensive value. And we hoped he would be by being moved to center field. Didn't work out that way this year. But that's the only place I'd say that Konnor Griffin could probably have a higher ceiling than Cruz. But I'm completely with you on the floor, man. Like the floor is a lot higher than O'Neal Cruz's floor, I think. And that's not recency bias either. Like we've known that forever. O'Neal Cruz has been pretty boom or bust since he was a prospect. He actually found a middle ground that I never thought he would find.
Did he?
I mean, like he's a 2-win player. I thought he would be like 0 or 5.
Oh, I don't know about that. Just because of the talent still. But to your point, again, like Konnor Griffin is strictly a prospect right now. He's not in the major leagues. There's nothing to say like he is a 5 WAR, but there's a lot that he possesses. There's a lot to project there. Again, Baseball America has the #1 prospect. So if he does pan out, again, that's what we're alluding to. If he does pan out, being a 5 WAR player, you already have him. You have Paul Skenes. Again, like the numbers show that typically teams that have this do well. Again, 14% finish below 500. 59% of those teams won 90 or more games. 15% won 100 or more games. 62% of those reached the playoffs. Right. So like, again, like that's what we're alluding to. Just the fact of them two being what they could be this upcoming year puts the Pirates in a advantageous position. Makes Ben Cherington's job easier. I'm not going to say it is easy, and I'm not going to say he can do the job, but it does make his job easier. I mean, again, if any of us were the GM and we had Paul Skenes and Konnor Griffin, it would make our jobs much easier, right? So that's what we're alluding to. This makes his job easier.
Basically, they have the corner pieces of the puzzle right now. The middle's just a freaking mess.
Yeah.
And they're missing a piece. They're missing 2 or 3 or 4 pieces. Someone took them and hit them.
So the pitching side, though, still seems, I mean, it was good last year. It looks like it could be better this year. I mean, Bubba Chandler came up late in the season. That's what alludes to also, you know, like Bubba Chandler's going to have a full year ahead of him as well. The sky's the limit for him also. I mean, you can't compare anyone to Paul Skenes. It's not going to be Paul Skenes. But I think Bubba Chandler has the ceiling where on most teams, he's potentially an ace. So he's going to be here all next year. So like there are some parts, again, on the pitching side that we're talking of, right? They're coming here that they're highlighting. You know, not only do you have these guys, but like there also is Bubba Chandler coming. Bubba Chandler could, I mean, again, he possesses, he could be the third guy who has like a 5 WAR season, potentially.
I mean, we're talking about a top 10 prospect in baseball.
Right.
Like he's not something to sneeze at. Like very well, like projection wise, that would probably be where you would project him on the high end.
On the high, yeah.
On the high end.
To be fair to him, also now he's likely going to start the season in the majors. It's like he'll have a full year ahead of him. It's not as if he's coming up like how Paul did, right? Like he's not coming up mid-year like we anticipated he would do last year. There's all signs point that he's going to be there opening day. So he'll have a full year and a full year in the majors, even as a rookie. Now he is a rookie. He's going to have his struggles potentially. You think maybe he got some of that out of the way already. That's why you call him up when you did. But yeah, like he could have a 3 to 5 WAR season and no one's going to be shocked. Like that's what he is. That's why the talent that's there. That's why he was, like you mentioned, at one point, one of the best pitching prospects in baseball.
Still kind of is.
Well, yeah, I know he dropped some off, some rankings here, but when the season started, like he was the guy more or less. It was a battle.
Also weird that he's kind of fallen because like he had a pretty successful 31 innings. I mean, he had a 4 ERA, but like, so?
Well, I kind of highlight that to your point. Like the 4 ERA also came with, what was it, 9 earned runs in like 2 innings against Milwaukee? Like that came with a very, very bad start.
Right. So like, again, like, yeah, it's not hard to squint and see 3 5-win players. But a lot has to go right.
Yeah, because the problem is the rest. When you squint, you see the 3 5 WAR players. Do you see other guys that it's stars and scrubs? And I'm not trying to be mean to some players out there or whatever, but like it's like when you draft your fantasy draft, when you in auction, you're doing an auction draft, right? And a lot of people like to do the stars and scrubs strategy, and that's like maybe that's what Ben's doing.
I mean, I'm squinting so I don't have to look at the rest of it.
Right. The problem is those scrubs are like still, because it's a 10-team league, those scrubs are still like really good players. And Ben's scrubs are, well, these guys are DFA caliber type players.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see what Jim catches from this scrum that's happening. 2, I'm also kind of just seeing some of this stuff leak out from Paul Skenes through these interviews. I'm excited to see how much pressure he puts on this front office this offseason.
Yeah.
Because like we're on like 3 or 4 times of him kind of throwing it out there.
He's talked candidly twice, I feel like, this season. Once like when Shelton was fired, and then once, I don't remember the second time. I don't know if there was any rhyme or reason, but he kind of just like reiterated a lot of stuff that he said earlier on. Maybe it was with Noah. I forget.
Yeah, I remember. It was towards the end of the year.
Either. Yeah. But anyways, then you hear that Oscar Marine's fired. We're kind of shocked, and it comes out that, there's a lot of players were involved in that. I wonder, like you're mentioning, like how much of that was actually even Paul? Was he leading the way? Was he just part of it or whatnot? Because I do believe, we hear the rookies and the young guys talk highly of Paul. We hear the veterans talk highly of Paul. I mean, he certainly seems like he has a voice in there. So I don't know, man. Now he just won Cy Young, and he wants to go to New York, apparently. So how much of a voice does he have and carry? Is he able to have the voice to put on that pressure? Is he able to be like, Bob, you need to do something, put some pressure on? I don't know.
If he hasn't done enough to have that voice at this point, nobody has that voice.
The only one I could, Andrew McCutcheon, but it doesn't seem like he has much of a voice either. Not to harp on him. It's just like they don't care enough to listen. Clearly.
But like,
which is why he's kind of using his voice.
Right.
Again, like I look at what he said, sorry to cut you off here, but like going back to speaking up, like what he said late on the season too, more or less, like, I want to keep playing. I want to win. And more or less, I don't know if that means I'm here next year. Again, like to me, that didn't seem like it seemed like a threat. It seemed like him using his voice to say, like, if you want me here, and I know you guys do, and truly I do want to be here, but like, you need to do something. I'm not a sure thing. You need to prove to me for me to sign back here. That's how I took what he said at the end of the season. It was putting pressure. It's him doing everything that he can truly do to put pressure on them to do something.
And I think Paul's doing something similar as well, because every time he opens his mouth anymore, it's about, we got to win. We got to win. It's basically his tagline anymore. We talk about therapy. He talks about winning.
Yeah. Well, when you don't win, Paul,
come gather for insight.
We'll see you at our therapy. We also talked about winning for a long time too, Paul. Here we are. So good luck to you in all your endeavors.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a whirlwind of an offseason, hopefully. Hopefully it is, because that means stuff happened.
Right. Well, I guess let's kind of like use this to pivot into that, because obviously we talk about the 2 5-war players and the success rates of having that. But like you mentioned, you have to fill the pieces, right? Like those successful years weren't just because the Pirates had Russell Martin and Andrew McCutchen. They had guys like Pedro Alvarez. They had guys like Neil Walker.
Mm-hmm.
They had guys like AJ Burnett. They had Starling Marte, who also, by the way, is a 5-war player quite a bit too.
Right.
Why was he not listed here?
I don't think he ever cleared 5.
I wonder who they're using. Not to take too much time away, but I'm like, wait a minute. Marte's like essentially been a walking 5-war player.
I don't know if he got to 5 with Fangraphs.
Maybe like
he did not.
But it's also Baseball America. So like, I don't know who they use.
Yeah, he never got to 5 with Fangraphs. He was always over 4 though, basically.
But all 3 of those years, so 5, 1, 4.5, 5. Baseball America. I'm sorry, Baseball Reference.
So they're using Fangraphs.
Either way, like that's the problem. So good. There's Kutch and there's Martin. There's Skenes and there's Konnor. But like, where's this team's Marte? Where's this team's Neil Walker? Like that's what's missing in this team to get them to where we think they need to be, they can be, and of course to ensure there's some success. That's what has to happen this offseason. So GM meetings, some words come out, and well, we'll start with the flexibility thing, right? All right, we'll start with the spending thing. It's reported that the Marlins and the Pirates have kind of come out and said they plan to spend a little this offseason.
As Paul Skenes said earlier, talk is cheap. You can say you want to, you plan on spending more, but does that mean you're going to just replace some payroll? You're moving some out so you can move some in? I mean, that kind of arguing semantics here, but that could go many ways and also spend some money. I mean, that could be $1 million. Everything else we've heard, DiNardo, has been that they're going to be around where they're at right now. Everyone else seems to believe that.
True.
Where they were in 2025, I should say.
Mm-hmm. So roughly about 90 million.
Right. I can't buy it.
Well, why can't you? Because that's what kills me on this too. Now, this wasn't like a direct quote, right? So you can't say Ben Cherington said this. It wasn't a direct quote. It was tying 2 teams together. But I did love the choice of words. They didn't want to just stop it at the Marlins and Pirates said they want to spend. They said they want to spend a little. Well, what does that mean? Right? It's not that doesn't bode confidence to me. You know what? The Pirates, they're going all in here. There's some flexibility. They're saying they want to spend. They're pushing on this. They see the window. They're going to attack this offseason and say, no, we're going to spend a little. First off, is that not the also the most Western Pennsylvania thing to say? Nah, then the boys are going to spend a little. Yeah, we're going to go out and spend a little. We're going to go drink a little. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe in that context, it means a lot, because I know in Western Pennsylvania, when you say you're going to do something a little, you mean a lot.
Very true.
Yeah, the boys, we're gonna go outside. We're gonna go drink a little. We're gonna eat a little bit of wings. We're gonna go drink a little.
Yeah. I'm gonna go drink a couple beers.
Yeah, it's never a couple. This is a little. We're gonna drink a little.
We're gonna go drink a little.
There's Jim.
We're gonna spend a little.
But again, like Morosi's not from Western Pennsylvania, so I don't assume that's what he means by the little. And so yeah, like that means nothing. The problem has been the Pirates spend a little. They need to spend medium-sized.
Okay. Can we like supersize that a little bit?
Right.
Like upgrade to a medium.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking.
Right. Like this. Right. The Pirates spend this. Right. We need to get a bigger, we need a larger spending right there. That was dumb. Anyways.
That was the dumbest thing you've ever done.
Dumb. Welcome back to the show, Jim.
What's going on, guys? What are we talking about?
We're talking about spending and going out and drinking a little.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had another thing I was on. I don't know if you heard, but Paul Skenes won the Cy Young. Yeah.
Did you break it?
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Wait,
no,
hold on. I gotta quote Jim. I'm gonna source Jim. Breaking news: Paul Skenes won the Cy Young. No, for sure. We talked about that. We've already talked about the Baseball America article transitioned into the Pirates and Marlins.
So we're like
spending.
We're already almost through the whole show.
I mean, it is 9:29.
Yeah. So yeah, are we gonna spend a little? Do we know what that looks like?
Yeah, a little.
Well, the problem is they have spent a little. We do know what spending a little looks like because it's what they've done year after year after year after year after year after year after year.
Yeah, I think the part that stood out the most to me, and I don't know if we've covered this or not. Cherington did mention, and I said in normal Ben Cherington word salad, he talked about how he has more flexibility this offseason than he's ever had before in Pittsburgh. So, like, what does that mean? Because if you look at payroll as it sits right now, like just the players who are currently on the roster, it's sitting at, per Ethan, $64.2 million. We've already seen the reports, and we know that payroll is typically tied to attendance. Attendance went down last year. So, like, I don't see how anyone can anticipate payroll going up next season. And last year, total payroll was $87.2 million.
And of course, that was after all the slashings, right?
Yeah. So, like, loose math, though, you've got $25 million. Let's say if payroll stays the same, you've got $25 million to add to this group. I think the only way you actually have flexibility is if you move Mitch Keller. Like, have we talked about that yet? Like, that's it. Because, like, if you don't move Mitch Keller, like, where's the flexibility at? How are you going to fix the holes that you have with $25 million?
This team has made me hate the word flexibility and flexible.
Oh, yeah. We've heard this word for decades, right? Like financial flexibility. Everything this team does is for financial flexibility. And so those comments by Ben Cherington almost scared me a little bit because it triggered in my brain that, like, Keller's already gone. Because that's how you get the flexibility. If you have more flexibility than you've ever had before, like, the way to do that is to trade Keller. And then when you trade Keller, now that takes your payroll down to $48 million. So now all of a sudden you've got $40 million to spend. Right. And so with $40 million, it's more money to spend on people, but in order to get there, you've got to take away a pretty key piece of your rotation. Now, the hope is by trading Keller. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish it.
I was gonna say, like, by trading Keller, the hope is that like you plug one of the holes, or you make a like a meaningful, impactful big league acquisition that helps you offensively. Like, hopefully that one move is like step one, right? And then you've got $40 million to spend on, whether that's adding via a trade, whether that's adding via free agency, whether that's extending some of the better players you've got here. That's also on the table here as well. Like, does freeing up all that money allow you to go to Konnor, Griffin, and say, hey, let's lock this thing down? Or, you know, I think Skenes is probably out of the question at this point. But I think that's my concern. That was kind of the first thing that stuck out to me with that quote, was like, if there really is more flexibility than ever before, it makes me think Keller is just good as gone.
Yes. So the week started by Bob Nightingale coming out and saying that the word is Mitch Keller is more than available. So, I mean, the sound now, again, it is Bob Nightingale. So you may think rationally that means he's very available, but conceptually that usually means that he's probably locked up and not going anywhere because Bob said it, right? All jokes aside, though, like, yes, I mean, I think all of us kind of felt the writings on the wall regardless that Mitch Keller is getting traded this offseason. My thought has always come by, and again, I'm not here saying it's right, but I understand what the financial constrictions will be. And I know how far away this team is to being good. And I just felt like the only thing that this GM could do to get them there is play the risk of trading Mitch Keller. So tie this all in. Week starts, he's more than available. Sign already that Mitch Keller's probably gone. Now they're going to spend a little. Well, to spend a little, you need some more cash. Mitch Keller's gone. And then Ben Cherington's talking about there's more flexibility this offseason than they ever had. Yeah, because Mitch Keller's gone. So, like, think about this, though, in reality, too. The past 3 years, now nitpicking maybe a few $1 million here and there, right? But like for the past 3 years in Ben Cherington's time has been the max dollars he's been able to spend, right? I mean, payroll has progressively increased to the point of where we're at. And we've kind of been at the ceiling for like the last 3 years. So with that also being said, like you mentioned, Jim, in trading Mitch Keller, this payroll goes down to about $48 million. I mean, we're talking levels of the early parts of the rebuild. He only has one person after you trade Mitch with a guaranteed contract, and that is Brian Reynolds. That's it. Everyone else is pre-arb. Your second highest paid player, likely after arbitration comes through and everything, but likely is Dennis Santana, who's also has 1 year left and he's gone. So, yeah, like technically speaking, he has more flexibility than ever. The reason they are there is because they unloaded all these contracts at the trade deadline, and they're likely unloading Mitch's contract this offseason to be there. He still has to do this part, though. Like, he still has to. So you trade Mitch, what are you getting back? That's a big thing, too. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to get a big fit, like you're talking about the impact bat that's going to actually cost money. Like, if there is a almost dollar for dollar match, but that type of talent's coming back, you're probably having to trade other prospects to do so, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with. Is he? Is he going to do that? You know, like and then if so, then you're back to the 25 million. How do you continue? So like there is flexibility, but it's only flexibility because you're removing players to get there.
Yeah. And I want to bring up this comment. Thanks for the super chat. The one, he says, what do you guys think about trading Keller for a couple pre-arb bats and then using the savings, I guess, to sign Okamoto or Murakami? And I think that's, you kind of just addressed that, where, if you're trading Keller for like an established major league hitter, you may need to add more to it. My issue with that is I don't know if that trade exists out there in the world. Like, if you're trading major league hitters for a major league pitcher, like, it means you really have like an abundance of that, and you maybe really need major league pitching. And you're not comfortable with any of the free agents out there. Because that's the other thing you've got to remember too. Like, if you're a team, say you're the Red Sox, right? And because that's a team that's brought up a lot. Like, say you're the Red Sox and you need pitching. They have an abundance of outfielders. They could probably afford to move an outfielder. If you're the Red Sox, do you trade one of your outfielders for Mitch Keller, who's making, $16 million this year, then 18 million, then 20 million? Or do you just try to sign Ranger Suarez, for 25 million bucks,
Right.
and call it a day, and you get to keep all your assets? So I think that's the thing, that you're not only competing against like what moves can I make? Like, you're now competing against the free agents that are out there. Because like, where does Mitch Keller stack among those free agent pitchers? Like, if you're saying, would you rather have Mitch Keller or Ranger Suarez? A lot of teams probably, I'd rather have Ranger Suarez. Would you rather have Mitch Keller or Merrill Kelly? That's probably like on par with like a really good comparison there. The difference is Merrill Kelly is 37 years old. You can probably sign him to a 1-year deal for like $20 million. Keller, you've got to give up something, spend about the same amount of money, and commit 3 years to it. So I feel like a Keller trade is just not going to get us what we want. Like, I just have that in the back of my mind, that trading him isn't going to get you what you want ultimately, which is a big league hitter. Now, I think you could maybe get somebody who's been blocked in a system, like a Spencer Horwitz type guy. I think those players are probably more realistic. It's going to be tough to find those guys, I think.
And that's also going to be tough to swallow, is getting a guy that's blocked. Because, I mean, I think everyone has in their heads that they should be getting back a major league bat that's basically a guy that already hits. I'm kind of with you, Jim. Like, those guys just aren't really out there and available. And if they are, there's not many of them. And the last part of it is, are they in the Pirates' price range? Usually not. Like, there's a finite number of guys that I think people would be okay trading Mitch Keller for. Not that the Pirates should care what the fans think, but I just don't know how many of those options are out there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot. Like, you don't see pre-arb, you don't see good pre-arb bats get traded too often, because like, even your big market teams, like, they value those guys a lot. Even teams like the Dodgers finally traded Gavin Lux last year, but like, it took them a long time to do it, right? And so, like a player like Dalton Rushing, like, they're perfectly content with just like, hey, we can keep Dalton Rushing in the minors until he's 24, 25 years old, because we don't need him. So it's just trying to find the right partner, and you're going to have to execute. Like, Ben Cherington is going to have a hell of an offseason of just executing trades. And I think that's where I'm the most concerned about here, is he hasn't done that yet. Like, he hasn't shown an ability to consistently do that, because we see some trades that other teams make, and we're like, why didn't we do something like this? And I mean, like, look at some of the trades that the Brewers make, and it's just, they're just kind of out of the blue sometimes, and it just happens, and you're like, man, like, that person was available. What? Like, Gavin Lux was available last offseason, and we didn't make a move. Michael Busch was available, and like, we couldn't beat the Cubs offer, right? So like, there's players like that. Like, like I said, those are the type of players that you need to look for. They're out there. It's just, you've got to be able to execute that trade. You got to be able to execute. And I'll give him credit. He executed the Horwitz trade last year. Like, there were mixed reviews on that trade. It worked out really well. Like, Spencer Horwitz was the best hitter on this team. That comment also brought up Murakami and Okamoto. I think Murakami is going to be kind of a pipe dream because I think you're like the big boys are going to be in on him because they can afford to take, I think, the risk to do that. But Kazuma Okamoto is certainly someone who should be on the Pirates' radar. Like if you're looking at a free agent who can step in and fill a need at third base, I'm pretty high on him as someone who's in the Pirates price range and could make a pretty immediate impact. Like Zips has him projected for a 117 weighted runs created plus next year, 2.4 WAR, 340 OBP, 451 slugging. Like that's his projection for next year at around 18 million a year. And that's a lot of money for the Pirates, but especially if you trade Keller, it does free that up for you.
So that's why I want to add here too, because the whole flexibility thing, let me preface this because we have to always have to, because everyone's going to take what I'm going to say out of context and go with it. I don't think we need to judge the Keller trade until the offseason's complete. I think that's going to be fair. Now, I'm not here to tell you I have high hopes that what's going to come to fruition is going to be good. But I do think, because what you are stating here, Jim, is factual. I don't think Keller is going to bring back the bat this team truly needs. Maybe they find a way. Maybe there is like a Spencer Horwitz type of deal that they believe in. And hey, again, like if we got a Spencer Horwitz back, that's an upgrade of this offense for sure. He was the best hitter. If you had 9 Spencer Horwitzes on this team is good. Right? So, if that happens, right? But what I'm alluding to is I don't think you're necessarily getting the bat back. What you might find is a package of players coming back, and it's the money that it frees up allows them to go then attack it. That's why I say you might need to look at this trade of it might not be the best return offensively for this team. Like when you look at it, you say, well, this isn't going to help out the offense, but what it might allow them to do is get that $17 million to then go and invest it in some other way. And that doesn't have to be a free agent also. It could be another trade of some sort. Like maybe they take on money from another team or something, right? Maybe they package something else. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the Keller trade in and of itself might not be the best way to evaluate the Keller trade. You might have to wait till the end of the offseason to say, okay.
I hate everything you're saying right now.
Huh?
I hate everything you are saying right now.
But why?
If you're trading Mitch Keller, you need to get something back. You're basically just saying offloading the salary and replacing it with something else.
But what I'm saying is the package of maybe it's prospects. The package that you get still has to be of value. But what I'm saying is if that allows you to go in, this ain't going to happen. What I'm saying is I'm using this to make the example. I'm using this to make the example, not that this is realistic.
I just hate it.
But if trading Mitch Keller to get a package of prospects allows you to get a Reese Hoskins, Kyle Schwarber, like that's, again, I'm using the extreme to make the example, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Then okay, Mitch Keller trading for the prospects didn't look great, didn't give us the bat, but that allowed us to go get Kyle Schwarber. So now it makes sense. That's what I'm saying is I do think you would need to wait out the offseason to then actually judge the Keller trade when it happens.
I'm going to judge that thing right off the bat, and I'm proud.
The end of the offseason, though, if there's nothing out there, then absolutely you trash it. But bringing up the salary can allow them to do the next move. When we were talking about the Horwitz trade last year, we said the same thing, right? Okay, you know what? I was expecting something else, but there's no money spent here. Maybe this allows them to get the Conforto. Maybe this allows them to get that next move. The problem was they didn't make the next move. But the reason we kind of liked the Spencer Horwitz trade more than I think we thought in a vacuum was, you know what? They didn't add any salary. So maybe this wasn't too bad. The next step is the problem.
That's fair.
Thank you.
I think Keller's too valuable to not evaluate that trade specifically, though. Like that's the difference. I don't think like, yeah, the offseason as a whole needs to be judged kind of at the end of the offseason. But that Keller trade, and like I said, I'm talking about it as if it's already going to happen because like I truly believe that
It is.
that deal's already it's going to be done. It's just like there's too many teams that would love to have a Mitch Keller on their roster. Somebody's going to offer something of value that allows Ben to have this quote unquote flexibility that he loves talking about, and go from there. So I think it's done. I don't have the faith that it's going to be good. So like I said, it just comes down to Ben executing. And if he can find that diamond in the rough, like a Spencer Horwitz, who I said he mentioned earlier in the offseason too, that like they're going to have to rely on unproven talent. Like Spencer Horwitz, yeah, he had some major league playing time last year, but like he was definitely not a sure thing. Like he
Right.
was good in his playing time, but by no means was it like this is our guy for the next 6 years. Write it in ink. I was optimistic on it, and it seems to have worked out. But I
But I'm
think
still
that's
not
going to.
there.
But yeah,
Like,
like
I'm
I
still
think
not
that's the
there.
kind of. Yeah, but I think that's the kind of guy that you're gonna have to trade for. Like, I don't think you're getting a Wilyer Abreu for Mitch Keller. You're not getting a Jaron Duran for Mitch Keller unless you're adding a whole lot more to it. Then possibly you can get that. I think you're more likely, if you're going to get anybody, you're going to get like a Kobe Mayo type guy, or
So
like
with
someone
everything that I
who,
just said, like,
yeah,
where do I differ from what you're saying here? Because I don't think anyone's going to look at Mitch Keller for Spencer Horwitz and say, yes,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you still, that's going to suck.
right?
The
Like, no
trade's
one's
still going to
looking at that
suck.
Yeah.
trade and judging and saying, slam dunk, good job, Ben Cherington. You
If you
traded Luis
trade Mitch
Ortiz last
Keller,
year, and we're fighting
That's what
back
I
on
was
it.
going to
So
ask
how's
you
Mitch
guys.
Keller therefore going to be, oh, okay, that's good?
here's the thing. If you trade Keller and you aren't getting back something that like immediately looks good, like that's a problem. Like
Mhm.
I trading Mitch Keller for just freeing up the money and just getting some stuff in return that might turn out, it's not good enough. Not good enough. I'd rather just
So
have Mitch Keller.
what do you want to see
Right.
from a Mitch
I
Keller
would
performance?
rather just have Mitch Keller. Like that's what I would rather have.
I would
I
like good
get it.
baseball
I
players.
get it. But guys, this team with Mitch Keller and $20 million to play with, what do you see coming? Where do you see success? Outside of
That's
JJ Cooper telling you 2-5 players,
the
you'll see it.
problem. Well, I mean, there you go. Yeah, I mean, there it does seem to be a little bit of help on the way for sure. But like they're running out of time. Like Paul Skenes is a Pirate through 2029, guaranteed. So are you going to keep him through 2029, or are you probably going to flip him after 2028? That's probably like, I mean, we saw what they did with Garrett Cole. We saw what they did with Andrew McCutchen. Like they traded them before their final year. So like you're running out of time here. You've got to do something right now. And I said, I'm resigned to the fact that trading Keller is a done deal. It's going to happen, but I'm going to hate the trade when it happens. I'm going to hate the trade when it happens because I'm not going to have faith that Cherington's going to be able to build a roster and execute what needs to be done to fill the holes and make the rest of this team better.
And my argument to that is I definitely don't see it with the current state of the team and only giving him $20 to $25 million to do it with. My trust is even less in not making that move. That's just the problem.
Yeah.
DiNardo's already like done. He's going to be underwhelmed. He knows it. Jim and I are just like still hanging on that we might not be. You've just accepted your fate here, DiNardo. Me and Jim haven't gotten there yet. We're still hanging on hope that there might be one guy out there or one trade with Mitch Keller that takes this team to the playoffs next year.
What is it?
There's
Is it though? What is it?
I don't get paid enough for that. I don't know.
I mean, I would like to make that
I-
move. Again,
that's the
like you
thing,
talk
though,
about the
like, I
Boston Red
honestly don't
Sox
know either.
players. I would like to make that move. I just know it also means you're adding something to it. And I, as a GM, would add that something to it. I just don't think they are. So they would
Right.
rather not go after the guy, take the equal value in return, use that money to reinvest it into acquiring the sum of parts to equal that guy.
But I mean, that goes back to what I said earlier. Like the trade fit, there's just not much that fits with what the Pirates need, what Mitch Keller commands, and just, I mean, the financial constraints they have.
Let me throw this, guys. Let me throw this at you too, because this is something when Jim brought it up earlier in his monologue. And we know the thing about what I think this came directly from Cherington. If not, it was just Morosi summing it up, that they're willing to spend, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will come by free agency. It can come by taking on contracts, right, through trades and such. And just because we're talking about the Cy Young, just talk about this person, whatever. Does a trade with the Phillies maybe make sense? I mean, they might be without Zach Wheeler. Here's Mitch Keller. You guys want to trade Bohm? Like, does that make any sense?
I think the Phillies could be a pretty decent trade, a trade partner. Yeah,
But like Mitch Keller included, not just like here's
yeah,
prospects
like
for
with
Bohm, but like
Keller
a
there.
Keller. Does that
I mean,
make sense for you?
I think I
Keller
want a
for
little more team
Bohm?
control.
I said for like 1 year of Bohm, I don't know. No, that doesn't make sense for me.
And it
Like,
doesn't
I
have to be
would
a one
want
for
the Phillies to
one,
throw
but
something in.
the center of the packages.
If it's like Bohm plus,
And I would imagine it to be.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
And honestly, Cody brings up a good point too. Like would Crawford would be. I feel like the Phillies would be more likely to do something like that than.
But they want to get rid of Bohm too. So again, I'm thinking that could be a creative way of both teams finding a need and dumping someone they want to dump.
Yeah, your issue there is you're not really giving yourself
Matching.
much flexibility, right? like Bohm's going to probably make 11 or 12 million bucks next year. So
But
I mean, it does fill your hole at third base that you've got. So there is that.
it's not long term either. There's
It's not.
also
Yeah,
that.
it's a 1 year deal. I'm not like huge on Crawford just because
Same.
I think this team needs power and he doesn't have it. I like him. I like him as a ball player. It's just I don't know if he's the best fit for what we need right now. Yeah, like I said, I don't love that either. I'm waiting to be underwhelmed by this trade.
Well, don't wait. Just
Yeah. Taylor Ward's
it
being brought
right
up in the
now.
comments. I like Taylor Ward. I think Taylor Ward's a really good fit. He brings the power. It's a right-handed bat, which PNC is going to zap that a little bit, but like that would give you a really good bat right off the bat in left field, which is a position that you've been struggling to fill for a while. But they've got to do more than that. And Keller for Ward doesn't make much sense.
no, you can probably get Ward for a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think we're going to be underwhelmed regardless.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but like if it turned out to be like a Spencer Horwitz, knowing what we know now, I'd be fine with that. If that's the way it ends up going, or it's that type of guy, I would hate it when they make it. But if it worked out the way Horwitz worked out, okay, fine. Still going to hate it when it happens.
But that's what I'll also say this. Like, if that works out to that degree, yeah, but then you still have, because Horwitz is minimum salary. Like, something still has to be done with that 17 million. Like so that's what I'm saying. Like, theoretically, it's got to be Horwitz plus what you're using the 17 million towards.
No,
Let me ask you this, because we know Ben has his trade partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do the Blue Jays need a pitcher?
Probably.
No.
What's his face is coming
Not
back,
really.
but
Not really. They've got I guess Eric Lauer's their 5th starter, but he's coming off a pretty good year. So it's like, how much do you rely on Eric Lauer there? But like, if I'm looking at guys that are like Spencer Horwitz, like, like, does Davis Schneider fit that mold? Someone who is versatile. He can play second base. He can play left field. He can kind of play all over the place.
Tyler Parker says Ernie Clement.
Yeah, he's got a little bit more service time and, is really good defensively. Ernie Clement's kind of like what we wish Brian Hayes would have turned into, I think, from an offensive standpoint. But I'm looking at like Davis Schneider, and it's like, could Davis Schneider get more playing time and be something useful?
Yeah, I hate all these options.
The problem with Schneider is like actually, I don't really have too many problems with Schneider. He had a really good year. I wouldn't mind getting that guy. Like, if you're looking at the Blue Jays and you're like, hey, who's a guy who's not in their starting 9 every day? It's not a bad guy to have.
Prepare to be underwhelmed.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's a bad trade. I mean,
be prepared. But to be fair, and I say this because, again, same situation like last year with Horwitz. I don't think you're getting the bat in a Keller trade that you desire. But it doesn't mean that you can't acquire that bat by trading Keller. So if you got a Spencer Horwitz in return, you free up the $17 million, and then you take the 17 to invest it somewhere else to get this other bat, then you're looking at that trade, liking maybe a little more, because that also allows the Pirates and Ben Cherington to get this player. The problem is, I don't think the trade's gonna be good, and I don't think they'll go get that player. But that's why you can't just strictly evaluate from that trade in a vacuum, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's my problem right now with trading Keller. Is just like, I don't have faith in the next step.
But I still have more faith in that than this team keeping Keller and using just the finite amount of money of 20 to 25 million to then go out and then get that bat still. I'm sorry, 3 bats still.
I feel like if I were in charge of this team, I would not trade Keller. I would be more inclined to trade like Mike Burrows for a hitter. Keep Keller. And like I said, I would be more willing to go for like the ARB 2 and ARB 3 guys. I would trade my prospects or my younger pitchers for that. Like I said, if I want Taylor Ward, I'm trading prospects for Taylor Ward. If I want Alec Boehm, I'm trading prospects for Alec Boehm.
And how much is Ward costing next year?
That's how you can make this team better without trading Keller. Because then you're adding, you're adding
Ward cost
10 million here, you're adding 10 million there. There's 24 million in payroll that you're adding between those two guys. And you have a third baseman and you have a left fielder now who are proven MLB caliber players who are good. Are you going to do better than that? Are you going to do better than adding Alec Boehm and Taylor Ward?
Yeah,
you spent more than you've reached the allotted money that you can spend.
There's your limit. Whatever.
There you go. Done.
We're
fill
done.
the rest of the guys with. I mean, you
can't fill the rest. You can't fill the rest. You're at the limit.
Right. You just. I mean, you dropped a few people from the 40 man. You shuffle some things around. And I don't know if Boehm's the guy I'd go after, but those are the type of moves.
The idea of it.
I'm making those types of trades. I'm going after guys who are late in arbitration, ARB 2, ARB 3, and going that route.
You're also not putting yourself in a box by announcing to the world that Mitch Keller is more than available. Like, your negotiating leverage kind of sucks now. Everyone knows you're going to deal in this offseason.
Well,
it's not to mean doesn't mean you don't have
good, Tyler.
I know, but like, I'd be okay hanging on, and then let's take a look at the deadline next year. Maybe there's a 1-for-1 deal then. Or you just don't have to trade them. I'm with Jim, though. Like, if you want some of these guys, trade your prospects.
And you can get both of those guys without trading like top talent.
Right.
Oh, for sure. What I'm worried about is, again, you're done. You can't spend anymore. For the bullpen, you better keep hitting on your DFA guys, on your high risk guys.
Nah, you can save some more money. Like, I mean, if you really want to, I mean, Joey Bart and Jack Sawinski, boom, there's $4.5 million.
Oh yeah, we already did this exercise, didn't we? We saved a ton.
Colin
of money.
Holderman, there's another 1.7. So I mean, there's $6 million you just freed up by cutting Bart, Sawinski, and Holderman. Go out there and use that money a little bit better.
That brings Kutch back.
There you go.
Which is kind of already a given.
Bring Kutch back. You just added Ryan. Honestly, the bullpen doesn't look bad. You need some lefties in that bullpen. That's. I don't know if you need to add much more right-handed talent to that bullpen, but you need to add a couple lefties and go out there and get some ARB2 and ARB3 bats. And I don't think you need to trade Keller to do that.
Well, there's that.
There's that.
And again, it's just this is more of a Ben Bob problem than it is what's the correct way to go about winning a team. It's really what our argument's coming down to. We don't trust them. I don't trust them more by having Keller. You don't trust them more by trading Keller. That's just where it's really what's coming down to. No one here is really arguing what the right move is. We're just kind of more or less arguing how we trust them better, which situation we trust this organization better. No Tyler Parker, no Reed Detmers. Who allowed this person in their chat? I had to bring up.
Let's go.
How do you have that hat ready?
Hold on.
How do you do a hat switch like a high schooler selecting his team on the stream? You have a row of hats in front of you?
Here we go. Here's how you fix it. Reed Detmers, Bobby Miller from the Dodgers, too. Go get him.
Who's going to catch for us?
Jim's plan on fixing this team is adding 2 more pitchers. Keep Mitch and then add 2 more pitchers. We're going to have a 10-man rotation next year, guys. That's how I'm going to fix it.
Just add the Dodgers can add Dalton Rushing into the mix too.
There it is.
You got Henry Davis, Dalton Rushing catching. Flores you bring from behind the plate, and he's your right-handed platoon at first. Also DHs quite a bit. And you know what? You can probably teach Rafael Flores to play right field. They tried it with Davis and it worked out just great.
You know what, you guys are you're really getting me to the point where I want to place this bet. The Pirates are plus 12,500 to win the NL next year.
Can you say that
on
again?
FanDuel?
Where's the comma in that number?
12,500.
12,500. Let me go
to win the NL, not the World Series, just the NL. So you guys are making me very confident I'm going to place that bet. You can get those odds on FanDuel.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that one's
a little
steep. You give me those odds.
You got to take them, right?
You almost have to take them.
Yeah. We should do it as the brand. We should put that bet on. Because think about this too. If we win,
I don't think we should.
No. You know what?
Yeah.
We should. Because for all the people that, you guys want them to be bad. Oh, that's NS9. You just want them to be bad because you're just here for the clicks. No, man. I got money on it. I need them to be good. That's our proving point there.
Almost
People come
every
at us
Pirates
like, no,
futures bet I've ever made.
I got
doesn't work.
$1 on this team. If they win, I'm going to make $1 billion.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're just. I am interested to see how this offseason goes. Like there's a lot that needs to be done. There are multiple ways I think that it could go. I have a feeling it's going to go the way of, like I said, Keller's going to get traded, and then you're going to have this like $40 to $45 million to play with. And then it's, how do you go about adding that money? Do you do it via trades? Do you do it via free agency? I would seriously like to see them be a player for Kazuma Okamoto, like for sure. I think he's a good fit. Plays a position that you need. I feel like he's going to everything's going to translate well over here. I'm a fan of the guy. And I think that's the market that, like, if you are going after free agents, that is the market where you can reasonably compete with other teams, because not many people are giving those guys like mega deals. So it's a place where you can find a little bit of value.
Especially the hitters. Pitchers might be another story, but the hitter side, yeah.
Yeah. There's a risk involved for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like we've seen enough of a track record now, though, where like those elite hitters from Japan, specifically Japan a little bit, more than Korea, but those hitters from Japan who are typically really good over there, they typically come over here and play well. And there's a pretty long track record of that now.
And the Pirates were kind of on the forefront of that with Jung Ho. I mean, they took a huge risk at that time, but I'm saying
Korea though. But yeah,
right. But
he was one of the first. I mean, he was the first. He was the first one to come from the KBO, I think.
Right. So they've kind of, they've been over there. They took that risk. It paid off. Might be time to take a risk again.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think I've made it pretty clear that it's time to take risks. You got to.
I get distracted by the Japanese.
I was just watching you being distracted.
Yeah, I know. I was just reading numbers and
You're
got distracted,
in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really studied these guys enough at this point. From what I've heard, Murakami, people don't seem to be as high on him. Swing and miss stuff seems to be a legitimate problem from what I've read and heard, but we'll see, man. I mean, you got to take a swing somewhere, and you got to find some inefficiency somewhere. Win in the margins.
Yeah, I don't think Murakami is a possibility, and I think he's going to be very good. The people, I think there's people out there who are trying to scare you. I don't like on social media, like he can't hit fastballs, or like the swing and miss is too bad. Like, who else couldn't hit fastballs when he got over here was Shohei Ohtani. Like Shohei Ohtani's numbers against fastballs in Japan were terrible. He's doing all right. He's doing all right now. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about fastball batting average in NPB.
I mean, it's all right. He's only making like $3-4 million a year. It can't be that good. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Quickly talk about some comments that were made. That Paul Skenes wants to be in the Big Apple. He wants to eat. He wants to go to a place where there's glizzies on every corner. He can go eat as many hot dogs as he wants after a game. That is apparently reported that he's just talking up and up that he wants to play in New York. So, fellows, what do we think about this?
There was a lot of backlash to this article, and I mean, I understand it was a pretty crappy article. I don't necessarily discount the stuff in it. Like, do I believe that an unnamed Pirates teammate from 2024 and 2025 told this guy these things? Did he tell him that, like, Skenes wants to be a Yankee? I do believe that an unnamed Pirates player from 2024 and 2025 said that to this reporter. I believe that. I believe, like I said, that's all understandable. I think what's kind of like just crappy reporting is, like, did you ask Paul any of this? Like, hey, Paul, this guy says this. Do you have any response? Like, that just seems like the responsible thing to do in this part. And Paul Skenes had a really good response to this question tonight. It was, it was asked to him, and he did mention that, he's like, I'm on the Pirates. My goal is to win on the Pirates, and kind of like the cliche answer there. But then he also went on to add later that he wasn't, he has no idea who that player is, no idea who that reporter is, never heard of him before. So he's like, I have no idea where any of that came from. So he did make that clear, like, on the record, that, like, he doesn't know where any of that stuff came from. So is it true that Paul Skenes at some point in time was like, yeah, it would be pretty cool to play on the Yankees? I don't know. I feel like if you're a baseball player, you probably say stuff like that from time to time. Would it be cool to play on the Yankees? Maybe, but he quickly dismissed it, as in, like, he's like, I'm here. I want to win here, and I don't know where that came from.
Ty.
It was a stupid ass article. Like, I can't believe I wasted 5 minutes reading the stupid article. And yeah, I'm with Jim. Like, yeah, he probably said something like that at some point. Like, I wish to be somewhere else all the time. Doesn't mean I actually mean it. And he might mean it. Doesn't matter. Nothing he can do about it. He's stuck here. You're stuck in Pittsburgh. You're going to like it, damn it. For now. It was just a dumb article. Stupid article. Tabloid, clickbaity. 2 thumbs down.
It was big time clickbaity. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like 10 out of 10 clickbait.
He knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, to do it on the day that the Cy Young's being announced, it's going to go to Paul Skenes. Clearly, it was unanimous, right? You know what you were doing. You're going to get the attention you wanted. But I do agree. Like, I do want to say some things, right? Like, I don't discredit him. Like, he is the person who wrote this. That was his report. The report says an unnamed source told him this. I believe that happened. Like I do also think too many people, when you say the whole unnamed source thing, too many people feel like, oh, you're hiding behind that. You're making something up, so you're not saying it. Be a man and come out and say it. Well, I'm sorry. No one's going to out their source, because what's going to happen then? You're done. You're cooked. No one's going to tell you ish anymore, because you're going to blab it. Like, if I'm going to say something in confidence to you, because, like, hey, listen, I got some scoop. Now, you can't say it's me, because I might be in the free agent market right now trying to get a contract, and I want people to know I'm a snitch. But I'll tell you some stuff. So, like, I don't think that he's making something up. When you hear people talk about unnamed sources, I don't think that's their magic cloak to hide behind to say, I'm making something up, so I'll say this. It was said. That guy didn't get to where he's at right now because he made up things along the way, time and time again. He heard something. Doesn't mean what he heard was credible, though. It's secondhand source, right? You don't know who that player is. You don't know if that player is salty. You don't know that player has an agenda. So, like what you said, Jim, that's where the problem is. He took that and ran with it. That happened. Someone told him that Paul Skenes wants to play for the Yankees time and time again, but he didn't fact check that source. He didn't go deeper in that source to find out, is there any validity to this? He said, ooh, this is juicy. This is juicy. Let me go ahead and post this, because I'm going to get my name out there and people are going to know me. I had never heard this guy before. He's a New York beat writer for NewJersey.com. I didn't know they had beat writers for NewJersey.com or whatever it is. Like, but now I know him because of this. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, does he want to play there? He might. Because also the other thing too is Paul is much of a professional. What he said tonight, he's going to say whether he said want to go to New York or not, because that's the professional thing to do. That's the brand Paul wants to create and have. So, you know, like, does he want to go to New York deep down? I still don't know. He actually still might. But I do know, and I shouldn't say no, but I do feel one thing about Paul is he is here. He wants to win, and he's going to do whatever he can do to win while he is here. That ultimately, that's what matters. So, like to Tyler's point here, you're stuck here. And we know he's going to be gone anyways at some point, probably after 2028, like Jim talked about earlier. And I do think that Paul wants to win while he's here. So he'll do everything he can do to win. And when that time comes that he's gone. And so be it.
Yeah, I don't think we can really question his effort or results. So I don't give a crap if he wants to be here or not. Just keep doing what you're doing. I don't care if you want to be here.
I think at the end of the day, too, you have to realize that, like, Paul Skenes is a professional in every sense of the word. Like, he's going to do his best no matter what. And he is a crazy competitor. Losing does not make him happy. Like, he wants to win. And so he is a Pittsburgh Pirate right now. He wants to win with the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. Like, that's it.
Period.
So,
full stop.
To your point, Tyler, like, even if there is something in the back of his mind where it's like, you know what, it would be pretty cool to be a Dodger, or it would be pretty cool to be an Angel, or it'd be pretty cool to be a Yankee. Like, he's not a Yankee. He's not a Dodger. He's a Pirate. And if he wants to win for the foreseeable future, he's going to have to do it on the Pirates. And you know what? In order to become a Dodger or a Yankee, you're going to have to be good as a Pirate. So, like, just continue to do what he's doing. And like, this is, yeah, like, it's a nothing. This is a nothing story that I'm not really too concerned about any of it, because Paul Skenes desperately wants to win, and he desperately wants to do it in Pittsburgh. And he's made that very clear.
He just want a freaking Cy Young. He's doing his part.
Yeah.
I did my part.
I'm doing my part.
That old TikTok meme. Yeah, Paul's doing his part. That's for sure. He's not the Austin Hedges of that meme. I do shit.
Mark Feinsand article just came out from MLB.com.
Yeah, I was just gonna
just kind of reiterating everything we talked about. Yeah, like that there's the Pirates plan to be spenders on the free agent market, something they haven't done over the past decade. Left side of the infield, corner outfield seems like the most obvious places. Then he ends it with a Cherington quote: "We need to win more games and believe we'll have the flexibility to pursue some things in free agency and trades. We need to add to the offense. It will be disappointed if we don't. What that looks like, we don't know. We'll pursue lots of stuff, I'm sure."
Same.
So there you go, guys. The big thing to take from everything tonight: we're going to pursue a lot of stuff.
And we're going to be flexible while we're doing it.
The reason they're going that route is because they need to find out when they trade Mitch Keller what that return is. That will tell them the stuff they're going to go after, and then hope that they get that. It starts. So, never mind. I feel it's going to lead to a long conversation, but
you know, I made the agenda.
I feel like it almost starts with Mitch Keller.
45-minute agenda tonight, you guys.
I know. What you need to do is make a 15-minute agenda. It starts with Mitch Keller, but the Mitch Keller trade is probably not happening until all the free agents are signed. which means the Pirates offseason probably isn't starting until January 15th. That's what I'm warning everyone on.
Yeah.
Good night. Tyler's face says it all. We're done. I'm done. Unless you want me to keep talking. I can.
No, I think it's time.
No, I'm good.
I think it's time to be done.
We'll be back with you on Friday with Sicko Sound
Off. Oh, Doug was informed, Tyler?
Yes. Doug was informed. Okay. Doug will be here Friday.
Because last time I promoted it, we didn't even tell Doug.
No.
So Doug is now informed. Doug will be on Sicko Sound Off. So come back on Friday, 8 p.m. Oh, shoot. We got to put that in the Discord.
Yeah.
You want to be on Sicko Sound Off, join our Discord, and then we'll have something in the Discord soon for you to join our Sicko Sound Off. So how's that sound? Click the link below. Click all the other links also. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Somebody wake up Jim. He's now in the zone also. You're way deep into that phone. But that's it. We'll see you guys on Friday. Bye-bye.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.